Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. We see you popping in. Those of you watching live, please say hi in the chat because tonight's episode is so special for so many reasons. Tonight, we're going to talk about how to stay young and feel great at any age. And for the first time ever in the history,
the whole
history of the Trisbrina Show, we're going to have two, not one, but two taste treats in one on the show. Man. We're going to have two guests who are passionate about helping people create a vibrant, healthy, successful, happy life in their 40s,
maybe their 50s,
60s,
70s,
and beyond.
Boom.
They are also co-hosts of an online free virtual mega event called Rockin Your Life at Any Age. And if you haven't registered, hello, now's the time. Already. Now's the time. Here's the link to register, satorimethod.com/rock. These ladies that you're going to meet, and we're going to have so much fun together during this short show, they interviewed 67 experts in so many areas of life and health who are rocking their life at any age. And these experts shared with them tips and hacks. And they're going to let us listen to all of those interviews totally free next week. So we're going to bring them on and then we're going to tell you a little bit more about them. And if you have questions for them, you can put them in the chat and we're going to play together. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, our friends,
Debra Poneman
and Natalie Matushenko.
Hello! Hi, people. Welcome. It's party time.
It is definitely party time.
Let's have a ball here. We've got some incredible people dialing in. Hello, Melissa. I see you. Mark. Bonnie is here. All the kids are here. Radhika, beautiful Christina. So I met Debra back in the day. Oh my gosh, Debra. I think we're looking at maybe 10 years at least. And Debra, I had the honor of being interviewed by Debra, and it was so beautiful. And I remember we were talking about life and meditation and energy work. And at the end, we're both crying, as you do, when two hearts meet. And since then, we've been great friends. We're part of the Association of Transformational Leaders together. We went on a trip not long ago to Sedona, and we were hiking and hustling and moving. And I'm like, Debra, you're so fit. Like, what's your age? And she told me, and I was like, what? So let's start with you, Debra. Will you reveal your age, please?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm almost older than I was because I think I was 70 back then, and I'm about to turn 71.
It's unbelievable.
There you have it.
So incredible.
Press that button.
The people who turned down on that hike in Sedona, that was not an easy hike.
No, and such a beautiful, beautiful time we got to spend together. And you guys working together. Natalie, welcome. This is our first time having you on the Trisbrina Show. I was reading a couple things about you, and I love that you said, I can go really deep because that's where transformation takes place. And that you are able to really walk that talk with your clients. Mm-hmm. And it's so beautiful to be with you guys, people who really walk the talk and live this. So let's dive in. Okay. Take it away, babe.
Well, I thought it'd be great if you shared with the people tuning in and everyone who's watching the replay. So you guys are the co-hosts, the co-queens of this mega summit. The people you've pulled together. What a list of, like, they're all A-listers.
We're rock stars.
Look who we're co-starring with in the show. So why don't you tell us, because some people might say, what does that mean, rock your life? So Debra, what does that mean to you, and why are you so passionate about it?
Okay, I'm passionate about it because it is all mindset. I mean, there are 40-year-olds that are old, and there are 80-year-olds that are starting businesses and falling in love and finding nonprofits. I mean, we interviewed Lynn Twist, who in her 70s just came out with another book. It's called Living a Committed Life. We had Lisa Nichols, who just got married for the first time at 55.
Cool.
We had and on the interview that she did with us on Rocking Life at Any Age, she showed wedding pictures. It was gorgeous. And we have Doria Cordova, who just in her 70s just started a nonprofit to help people leave a legacy. Ronnie Newman in her 70s talked about, she's a Harvard researcher, about how to keep your brain young and clear and not lose your memory. So here's what I say. You can be any chronological age, any number you want, but you can be young. Just don't hang out with people who think that 50 is old. And also, here's my big tip. Don't read those magazines that advertise like walk-in bathtubs, and those phones with the big gigantic numbers, because it's saying you're old. You're reading this magazine. And don't be with people who try to tell you that you're over the hill when you're 50, 60, 70. Don't be with the discouragement committee. Hang out with people who are your cheerleaders, who don't look at the number and just want to rock life with you.
I love this. I know the Satori community is listening in right now going, wait a minute. That sounds like Sabrina. Like, that's what we're constantly reminding people. Like, there's this quiet quitting that's happening out there in the collective unconscious, where people are quitting on themselves because of these programs that are being populated, and they sneak under the radar and they infect you. And we need these conversations to remind people it's a bunch of BS. You can rock your life truly at any age. Natalie, what is this rockin' life at any age for you? We've got an in and an out. We feel you're beautiful. We can't hear you for some reason. Let's see.
While she's getting, I will say that Natalie lives in Bogota, Colombia.
Oh, in Colombia. Piping in from Colombia.
So once in a while, the electricity goes out there. And,
like it just did, yeah. We had that happen a little earlier. All right, well, you hold the space for us, Debra. What do you think it is for her? I'm kidding.
Well, I'm going to let her speak for herself. But
here she comes.
I know that you were going to ask me, like, somebody that we interviewed that made a big impression on me. Now?
Yes.
Okay, and then when Natalie comes back, I'll just give the floor to her.
She's back.
But we interviewed so many people. Oh, hello?
She is here. She's back.
It's a party line.
It's a party line.
Yeah.
All right, Natalie, we're back with you.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know why my mic was off completely. I'm passionate about this. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I'm passionate about this because one of my role models from my early 20s was actually my husband's aunt. She was in her 50s at the time. She'd raised 3 kids. She was an artist. She had a business. And in her mid to late 50s, this was in Argentina, she really became upset about the lack of women's political rights in Argentina. And she founded this nonprofit that has since, in her 60s, her 70s, has transformed the political landscape in Argentina. She's now 84.
Wow.
She's still invited to speak at congresses all over the world. She flies off to Africa. She flies off to Europe. I just saw her over Christmas, and she said how she got 2 major grants from embassies to push through this new piece of legislation for women's rights. And so when I found myself in my mid-40s, I actually went through a bit of a funk. I had some perimenopausal symptoms. I started really questioning my life, and I noticed how everybody my age, friends and clients, seemed to be in the same boat. And then I thought of my husband's sister, aunt, sorry. She feels like a sister. Literally talking to her is usually more fun than talking to, 30 or 40-year-olds. And I realized how much it is, right, all up here.
Mm-hmm.
And the more, and I actually started doing these summits 4 years ago, so now I've interviewed, 200 plus people who are rocking their life at any age, right? And the more you surround yourself with amazing people who are going for their dreams, rocking their life at any age, the more you start believing that, wait, I can do this too. Which is why we're so passionate about this, because seriously, it's absolutely ridiculous that, what was it? In some fields, people feel like they're over the hill at 28, right? In music. Well, athletes feel like they're over the hill at 30. Most of us start feeling over the hill at 40. And it's ridiculous, because if we're lucky, we've got another 40, 50, 60 years to go.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Are we just going to believe the societal BS that it's a slow, steady decline?
Yeah.
No.
It's
Right?
so true.
And things have changed. Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say
No, that's it. That
things
we
have
can
changed
see it
so
like
much. Exactly what you're saying. Years ago, the lifespan was shorter. Things were different. So maybe some of the ideas about age, maybe they had more truth to them 200 years ago. But it's such a whole different world. I feel like so many people are really discovering what they want to do with their life at 50 years old, what they want to do and who they want to be. I know I had a spiritual mentor in my early 20s, and he said, stop celebrating your birthday. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, stop counting, because subconsciously people have said so many things about what you're going to feel like when you're 30, what you're supposed to be doing when you're 40, when you're not pretty anymore, when no one's going to want you, when you need to retire, when you need to settle, like all of these markers. And I really did that. I stopped counting, and when people would ask me how old I was, I'd try to do math in the air, like I'm not sure, because because I really did stop counting. Like I don't want to carry around this label of who I am. I just want to be, and I really found it with physical things. As a dancer, it was like, enjoy those splits now because they're going away when you're in your 20s. And then, oh, no, I can still do it. Well, not in your 30s. And so I was just like, every 10 years, I'm just going to post pictures of me doing the splits on Facebook and say, screw you guys. Because it's just an idea.
And Sabrina, it's also not a good idea to tell people how old you are, because they start treating you like a person that age. I just have to tell you a very quick story. A few years ago, I went on safari with not to name drop, but it just happened to be with Richard Branson and his extended family, and because we have a mutual friend, and there were about 10 of us. And we were all just like one group of friends and hiking and going out on the Jeep. And then one day somebody said, well, Debra's 66. And all of a sudden, they start standing up and giving me their seats and helping me into the Jeep. And, oh, it's okay, you sit down. I'm like, oh my God. It was so, I just wanted to scream and say, no, 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 they were just kidding. I'm really 46. So that's a good reason not to tell people how old you are, because they start treating you differently. So guys listening, don't do that to people. Just, match their energy or uplift their energy.
That's so beautiful. What were some of the different conversations, Natalie, during the summit, because you guys interviewed so many people, that kind of made you rethink some things maybe, or gave you a big light bulb moment?
Wow, there were so many. The first one that comes to mind is actually Neil Donald Walsh. He really opened up in a way that Debra and I have never heard him open up before. He shared about being homeless. He shared about how it took him 7 marriages to get the love thing right. And actually what he shared about that really was a huge light bulb moment for me. He said how at one point he decided just for one day to be loving, just to give love to his spouse without looking for anything in return. Stop focusing on how she's loving him or not loving him, but just for one day, he was just going to give love. And then once he did it for one day, he went for 2 and for 3. You get the idea. And over time, as he just focused on giving love, of course, he felt better and better, because as we give love, right, it channels through us. But he started noticing that he was getting everything he ever wanted from his wife. Now that he wasn't, doing what we all do, ask for it, manipulate, whatever it takes. And I really took that to heart and tried that in my own life with my own spouse of almost 29 years. And lo and behold, it really works.
I'm going to start loving you more.
Good.
So I can get what I want.
Well, that's
No.
the thing. You really have to break that attachment, right?
Selfless love. Well, there's nothing more beautiful than being able to show up for somebody and just really hold space and love on them unconditionally, right? That is that's the path that we love to share about. It's so beautiful. So how about for you, Debra? Was there anyone who kind of dropped a bomb and you're like, you know what, I had to rethink that, or like, I don't know, maybe it up leveled you or something?
Totally. I'll tell you who it was for me. Well, it was so many people, but Dr. Laura, you know Dr. Laura Berman? She is considered to be the number one expert in the US on love, sex, and relationships. She has a bunch of New York Times bestsellers. She was always a guest on, Good Morning America, Today Show, been on Oprah a gazillion times, and had her own show on the OWN network called In the Bedroom with Dr. Laura. And about a year and a half ago, she was just going about her life with her fabulous husband and her three teenage sons when her youngest, Sammy, he was up in his room studying because they were studying at home at the time. He was a sophomore in high school. His dad brought him his hamburger for lunch. And then Sammy went out to get some fresh air. And a few hours later, Laura went up to see if he needed anything. And he was lying on the floor, dead.
What?
And he was this innocent kid, I know, that he had never done any drugs except a little teeny bit of experimenting with marijuana. And some pusher on Snapchat who preys on these kids sold him what Sammy thought was Vicodin. He met the dealer during his walk around the block, and he took it to impress a girl. And it turned out that it was laced with fentanyl, and it killed him instantly. And when we interviewed Dr. Laura, it was so powerful to hear her thoughts 1 year later. And you know how we say that eventually we'll see the gift in everything, but then our next thought is, yeah, how are you going to see the gift in losing a child like that? But she shared how she now sees so many gifts, even in an unimaginable tragedy. And not only is she moving on, although she'll always love Sammy and wish it didn't happen, but she said she is not only surviving, but thriving in two ways. She said the most amazing thing, I think, is that she feels she's a completely new person in one way. And that is because the worst possible thing has happened to her. She now feels like there's nothing else to be afraid of. She says, I'm truly not afraid of anything. She said, it makes me a little harshly honest at times because I don't give a about what other people think anymore. She said, I'm no longer a people pleaser. I don't do anything anymore that I don't have a full body yes to. There's a complete freedom in my life. And she went on to share that when someone is struggling to make a leap that would feed their soul, they have no idea what's going to happen. They can soar or they can crash. And before, because of the possibility of crashing, she wouldn't take leaps. But now she says she leaps because she sees how insignificant crashes and burns are compared to losing her child. She says, now I think, so what? What if the outcome isn't what I intended? So she says she's now unapologetic about saying no to things she doesn't want to do. She used to think that if she said no and she'd lose friends, all hell would break loose. But she can no longer do what she doesn't want to do. She says, how can you not thrive when you're not doing anything that you don't really want to do? And she said that she learned that people appreciate honesty and integrity more than they appreciated people pleasing.
Boom.
I can't wait to hear that one.
Yeah, so that was mind blowing because when she first started the story, it's like, where is this going to go? And it went to that she is and how many of us, you could put in the chat, how many of us are people pleasers? How many of us think we're going to like die if we have to say no to anything? And then I always think, okay, what would Dr. Laura do? And when there's, like she says, the greatest tragedy happened, who cares if someone doesn't like you because you said no?
Yeah, that's the ultimate contrast, isn't it? For realizing what's important and what's not. You lose a child, my God. What's really cool what you both did was you curated for all of us the best of the best. Because we all know there's so much content out there online. There's more content than ever before that we have to sift through to try to get to the good stuff. And then you got all the reels in between that are like pulling you over there and you squirrel, And so the fact that you took the time to really dive deep You know, Natalie, as you said, in your, you have that ability to go deep with people. And you guys did this with all of these speakers, and you pulled these gems to the surface for us so we can really aggregate and like soul mine, if you will, so much wisdom in a short amount of time. We just came back from a marketing mastermind where people who are all doing really, really well in the world came together and they shared their secrets, their insider tips. So that's really what you've done. Natalie, is there another person perhaps? Give us one more little teaser here of something to look forward to, because I know our tribe's absolutely going to want to watch
And if you have
these.
any questions, this would be a great time to pop them in the chat or comment.
And while Natalie's answering, those of you who just got here, make sure you get that link and write it down, because you want to hear all of these interviews. And they're totally, these
Free.
ladies put them out there for free for you. Okay? All right, Natalie, to you.
Well, I mean, of course, I absolutely loved your interview. And, you know, there was, loved it. Well, we got in there, we did the full body exercises, and that's what I love, right? Like some speakers share their wisdom and tools more for transformation, and others get into the body. And we really learn practical tools that we can apply. So thank you guys for everything that you shared. And also we loved Robin Lynch, who is an Ayurvedic specialist from Australia. And she shared again something really simple, but neither Deborah or I knew that, for instance, 40% of our bacteria, like everything that our body wants to get rid of as we sleep, winds up in our mouth. And yeah, basically it's pretty gross. And literally, it's like a 30-second routine to get rid of all that, which ensures better health, and you certainly feel better, you know, right? And have a white smile and all the rest of it. And it only takes 30 seconds. It's so simple, so easy to apply. Like that interview alone is worth itself in gold, right? And she also shared this 3-ingredient green morning drink that's super easy to make. And as Deborah has been saying, she's like, I'm not a morning person, but since I started drinking that green drink, it's better than coffee. So, you know, like really on the practical side, you could just, you know, how a little tool can make all the difference in the world. And all of a sudden you're ditching your coffee and feeling great in the morning.
Yeah, we enter through the body. You know, that's like our doorway. But what's so great about the people that you've gathered is it isn't, you know, if perfect health and happiness was only about the body, then everyone who was into fitness would be happy and healthy. But that's not the case. And if it was just about sitting on the couch visualizing being healthy, that would work. You know, we are this holistic beings that the combination of things that different people bring to the table give us everything that it takes, from the physical body, the energy body, what you're consciously focusing on, and then what that subconscious mind is playing back to you all day long, and then what you choose to focus on, what you make the priority in your life, and keeping that flow of all of those going, to me, is what keeps me feeling not just young at heart, but also young in body.
That's right. Yeah. So I want to add one other thing, and I know that we have to go, but what I loved about the summit, and Tristan knows because I've been doing this for over a decade, because I interviewed him over 10 years ago. As he said at the beginning, it was how we met, because I loved his interview, and that was it. We just fell in love and been friends ever since. But what we decided to do is that we were going to take people from all different areas. I mean, like we have John Gray, who talks about relationships. I mean, I have to say it was almost X-rated, but it was really good. So we have John Gray, who talks about relationships. We have several people who talk about self-love. Then we have like Christy Whitman, who actually channels this group of ascended beings. Actually, she was with us in Sedona, called the Council of Light. And then we have like really practical people like Ken Honda, who's the Tony Robbins of Japan, who talks about how to create wealth with happy money. So it's just a full spectrum. But I have to say, you guys are the only ones who got us up and moving. So thank you for that. So we could say, and we had people that got us up and moving.
Yes. And you gave us that amazing gift too, the Qigong class for everybody. And that was one more thing that I wanted to mention. This summit is completely free, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And not only do you get access to these 67 amazing interviews, and just any one of them can completely shift your life, but our guest speakers, including you guys, have given $3,700 worth of gifts. I mean, entire courses. Your Qigong course, Dr. John Gray gave an entire course on relationship. Marianne Williamson gave an entire course on spirituality and depression. But as well as that, ebooks and practices and just all kinds of really, really good stuff.
Well, me. So,
that was easy. I hold space with you.
When you register, there's this little tip, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot of interviews if you want to hear them all to listen in 5 days. So as soon as you register, there's like a page that you see. Sometimes you only see those pages once, and there's an opportunity to own all of the interviews for like pennies. So definitely eyes open and look for that page when you register.
Yeah, and I do want to say something about summits. Back in the day, they were on the phone, right, Deborah? We didn't get to hang out like this. Things have evolved, haven't they? And, so you'd hop on these telesummits and you'd listen to a gazillion teachers. And for a month. And what these ladies have done is they've compressed this down so it doesn't have to take a long time. And they've, of course, curated the world's top teachers and speakers on these topics. And I just think it's so important to get the right information. And so we don't actually recommend summits hardly ever because they tend to go on and on and on. But this one we're recommending, so you know that this is gold because you guys know we never send this stuff out. So that's why this is happening. It's that good. And we're in it too. So that being said, no, seriously, you guys, it's incredible. I want to know what was something that happened between the two of you, because we work together, you guys work together on this, that like really touched your heart working together as a team on this. Yes, go
I'll
ahead.
tell you, for me, is that Natalie has 3 daughters, 2 of them still living at home, and that she managed to pull this off, working so hard. I mean, can you imagine interviewing 68 people and then interviewing them again for the deep dive interview that you get when you do that little upgrade for pennies? At the same time that she's taking her daughters to gymnastics and to they're a horse. One of them is a horse. She does horse shows, like she jumps with her horse. And she is like the mother of the year, taking them on vacations and being so attentive to her kids and her family and her fabulous husband while she's pulling this off. I mean, I just have me to take care of, and it was hard to do it during this time. And there's Natalie. I just admire Natalie so much for being such a fabulous mom.
Aw. And right back at you, Deborah. I mean, the thing that really struck me, and Deborah and I were just talking about this the other day. I mean, we've been working together now almost daily for 8 months, and it has just flowed. I mean, like we just flow. Like there hasn't been conflict or major stuff. We just complement each other and we flow. And I too just admire Deborah so much. She sees what she is. She's also an amazing mom, and she's like best friends with everybody. I mean, everybody on this summit is like, Deborah's my best friend. I'm like, how do you have time for that's what when I'm with the 3 kids, she's with like 67 best friends, plus her 2 grown children. But not only that, Deborah just has such amazing energy. She's full, not to mention she's full of energy, she's full of zest, always so positive. It's just a joy and a pleasure. It's been actually easy. It's made it more fun. Like I've done these summits in the past alone, and this was so much more fun.
So
We
beautiful.
did have fun.
Look, we've got a lot of coaches and teachers and healers here, and you guys know how much goes into putting this kind of stuff together, or at least launching your first program or what have you. So here's like proof that you can do this in a state of flow. You can serve the world. You can find beautiful people to align with. And And some of you, we told you, this is how you do what's called joint ventures, and you affiliate with people who you want to spread the love together. And that's what this is all about. It's a big love fest. We have some amazing comments coming in here. Like, it's been off the hook since the beginning. Lee's got a little something there for you guys. She says, Debra and Natalie, thank you for these powerful, inspiring stories. And that went away so fast I couldn't read it all. Somebody said they bought the all-in pass. It's very reasonable. Another person here is saying, you two ladies just glow
with serenity.
With serenity, and a whole lot more. So,
everyone's looking forward to the summit.
Yes, so good. So thank you so much for popping in. You probably have to go and interview some more people now, I'm sure, or take a nap. But thank you. Sabrina, you want to land our plane?
Yeah, just like thank you guys that showed up live. We so appreciate you, and those that are watching the replay. And thanks for being part of this community, because that's what Satori is about. That's what this summit is about. We're going to rock our life at every age, and every day and every moment, because we have the tools and we have the love, and we can connect directly to that life force that provides all of that with us. And so you take that life force and that love with these tips that you're going to learn in the summit, we're going to be rocking it together.
So now we all have to have a very nice smiley face for our screenshot on 3, 2, 1. Awesome. We just took a selfie. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you guys so much. It was such an honor.
Bye for now.
All right, y'all. Until next time, next week, sending you so much love, and we'll see you all in the chat on the summit. Let's go. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
There you go. I hope you guys
the air?
enjoyed this. We are still on the air. The ladies are just in the green room. We're going to pop in there and just thank them right now for taking the time to do this. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Just wanted to sign off real quick with a lot of love. Until next week. Mwah.